Kano State is unique in its qualities as an investment destination with various levels of opportunities and potentials, both economically and culturally. We are strategically placed in the north as the commercial nerve center, not only for Nigeria, but for the sub-Saharan region. Historically, the capital, Kano City, has been for centuries a regional sub-Saharan trade center for over 300 million people across Nigeria and neighboring countries.
Kano has now become not only the commercial nerve center of the northern part of this country, it also the commercial nerve center of some West African countries.
Morocco, Chad, Niger, and many other countries, we have been having international trade, and we still maintain that relationship.
Kano has historically always been a major entry port and hub for extensive commerce and commercial activities along the Trans-Sahara trade route. And with the advent of the European system of global commerce, Kano still assumed that role.
This company was started by my managing director, Mr. Hassan Hammoud, and we were born here. He was born in 1969. I was born in 1948 in Kano State. And our parents migrated before that in the 1940s.
Kano as a center of business, even manufacturers that are in faraway Ogun, Lagos, sometimes the main dealers are in Kano.
There is also hardly any company that does not test their products here in Kano, because what comes to Kano and succeeds ultimately succeeds in the rest of Nigeria more often than not.
Kano State has been a commercial and agricultural state which is known for its production of granules as well as its solid mineral deposit. The state has more than 18,684 square kilometers of cultivated land and is the most extensively irrigated state in the country. Kano State's economy is significantly driven by commerce, manufacturing, agriculture, with its large population to provide enormous market opportunities to investors.
Kano State has the population, it has the number that is required by any investor in terms of whatever you do. When you produce, you need people to get it. When you build, you need people to get into the houses that you build. Whatever you do, you need participation and patronage.
The labor is very cheap. Even though the fixed government rate to workers were paying above that, but it's still cheaper compared to other countries.
We used to employ about 150 people. But eventually, when we ventured into crust and finished, and our export grew up, Mahmouda Industries was employing, with the companies that we bought over 2,500 people. And after the new diversification to sack manufacturing and mat manufacturing, our workforce has risen to over 5,000 people, 5,000 workers.
Security of nowadays has changed. Criminality has changed. We have to employ technology. Otherwise, if we remain in an analog system, the criminals are no more analog. So we decided to provide some infrastructural facilities, as you can see here.
Today, as we speak, major streets in Kano State have CCTV cameras and is being monitored in the DSS, in the governor's office, in the commissioner of police office, and in my office.
We have put optic fiber covering over 100 kilometers within Kano Metropolitan. The data center that Mr. President will commission is a data center that also you can view what is happening.
Kano State is, if not the number one peaceful state, is among the most peaceful states in the country at the moment. And that prepares the ground for investors. And this is because the state government, under the leadership of our leader, His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, have put a lot of things in place to secure the state and make sure that lives and properties of people are being secured. We enjoyed a lot of collaboration and cooperation with the security agencies. This we can assure our to-be investors that Kano is a very good ground for investment.
Without the security, we cannot even open our company to produce anything.
Kano is fully secured and the only secure state in the northern part of the country, and businesses are coming in because there is security. In fact, other businessmen in other states, industrialists in other states are now migrating completely to Kano, not just on temporary basis, because of security.
We have now, to the credit of this government, over 10 different flyovers, underpasses, triple and double level interpasses. And today, many people who have not come to Kano in the last 3-4 years, believe me, they admit, they say they get lost because it has changed a lot and so much has been done. And indeed, you will see all these achievements and developments are coordinated.
Kano is a mega city. In order to make our city a smart city where things are working, we undertook the review of the master plan of Kano Metropolitan. All the road exchanges that were having problems, we decided to earmark them and take them one by one.
The Kano State governments are indeed of a great help in terms of proper transportation network, which in turn enabled the company to deliver its products with ease and on time.
Road network is a must when it comes to business transactions. Now, he has provided very good network throughout the state, including flyovers, modern flyovers all over the state.
Sometimes you spend 1 hour, 1.5 hours before you get into the town or before you go outside the town.
Now, places whereby before you leave Kano, you have to spend hours. Now you can just pass without even touching your brake. And that makes it smooth for all businessmen coming in and going out of the Kano and multiplying the transactions.
When you produce, you want to take your goods somewhere to sell. So the Kano Maiduguri Road is being completed. Kano Abuja Zaria Kaduna Road is also under construction. The Kano Katsina Road is under construction, almost getting finished. The Kano Debi Road also is under construction.
Almost every month, you find new factories coming into Kano. New factories are being developed.
Now the government is trying to supply you, to give you power and also water. Even for our system now within this area, from Tokarawa, Gunduawa, Dansare, all this area from Hadeja Road down to Danzaki, Jogana.
Kano State is doing its own power project. The federal government have come in to partner with the state government. We are doing a multi-billion solar power project, which is at 90% completion.
This is an inherited project from the previous administration, from Konkoso administration. Governor Ganduje inherited the project, and it is one of his signature projects.
In fact, historically, it's interesting because the foundation was laid by Muhammadu Buhari, but by then, Muhammadu Buhari was a presidential candidate, not a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was invited to the foundation. Imagine how many years now. He left it like that, and since we know the history, we know the importance, It is our duty to continue and complete it.
We are generating from water. So we are generating at 33 kV, transmitting at 33 kV. We are transmitting from Chaga up to Tambra Water Works, about 70 kilometers away from Kano.
Now there will be electricity day and night.
Now we are getting at least 18 to 20 hours in our area, and this is better than buying the diesel, and our production are going smoothly, and the stable light.
Kano is good environment for business. And most of all this electricity is provided in the industrial areas like Bampai, Chalawa, Sharada, and also Tokarawa here Kano. So all those areas now, you can even see that the light is extended and even know people to hook onto. The electricity just by a compound, you just easily connect.
Before, we are only having minimum of 4 hours, 6 hours, but now it's very encouraging. We are having even sometimes 2 days without power outbreak. So it is very good for any investor now to come and invest in Kano due to this climate that is very conducive.
And furthermore, the issue of the gas being brought from Ajakuta to Kano. This is very, very significant. In fact, the gas, when it comes to Kano, it will turn around the fortune of Kano much more. Because as an investor, I know that automatically if gas comes to Kano, the cost of my production will greatly go down. Because what I pay today for diesel to service my generators, one gas is available in Kano, I will use gas for my generators. And this gas will cost me only 1/3 of what I am spending now on diesel.
So you can see most of all those Indians that are doing business now in Nigeria, you see that they just carry their ideas. They carry their briefcase. And they collect even the money they will take at the base. They will get it here in Kano.
It is very amazing how some industries come into Kano and within a short time they flourish. The reason why they flourish is because the atmosphere has been made so conducive for them to thrive and grow their business. And as a practitioner myself, I must say that we are always looking to opportunities, and Kano has created these opportunities.
He created a new agency, which we call KANINVEST. And the target is to make it easier for anybody who has an investment to come to Kano and invest in Kano. That agency is responsible for giving people, anybody, be it outside the country or within the country, to come down to Kano and invest. And through that project, through that agency and this particular ministry, we have what we call ease of doing business. With the support of the Office of the Vice President, Kano and Lagos are rated at the best states for ease of doing business.
We go after investors for aftercare services where we visit them on a regular basis, either end of the month or quarterly basis, to find out if they have any issues in the state, either with their tax, either with anything that they are not happy with. We make sure we are there to find out and also assist and support them to make sure that we resolve the issues. This feedback mechanism that we get from our investors is what takes us to the top level of the ease of doing business.
After a short period, we lobbied for an export incentive grant so that we can increase our export and we can compete with all the leather industries in the world. And the EEG was an incentive that really helped our company, Mahmouda Industries.
You know, traditionally, Kano had been a flourishing center for tanneries and leather industry. This has continued to flourish, and many of them have now even started integrating, producing the finished leather itself rather than only wet bluing it and exporting it abroad.
90% of the tanneries in the country are in Kano State. And I stand to say that all our tanneries at the moment now, they process leather to the finishing process, and they import it for companies, designers like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and what have you. They buy finished products from Kano. Why not Louis Vuitton can come down to Kano and set up a factory in Kano, whereby they can get the finished products from our factories and make their goods here. One, we have the number. The labor is not so costly.
Investing in Kano State will provide several benefits which can be achieved anywhere investing, like Kano. One, we have the largest labor force in the country, adequate investment promotion act, we have the tax holiday, perfect business environment, major entry ports and southern hub for trans-Saharan trade route, largest commercial center in the West African region, access to free trade zones, availability of land on concessionary basis for the construction of all rural activities, duty-free importation of specific goods. As you know, we also have Dale Inland Dry Port.
The Dala Inland Dry Port has just been commissioned, and it has been registered and has been approved as a port of destination and port of origin. And so we have a lot of advantage. Even though we don't have the shores here, we don't have the water, but we have an inland dry port.
The Shippers Council wrote us that if we want to actualize the Dala Inland Dry Port, Kano State government must provide an enabling environment. We asked them, what type of enabling environment? They said there must be an access road, there must be water, there must be electricity, there must be fencing of the area. We say we could do all this. We spent 2.5 billion naira for such gigantic projects. And then investors came in with much, much more funding, spending over 9 billion naira.
We commissioned the logo in Abuja, and we also launched the Dale Inland Dry Port here in Kano 2 months ago, where the Minister of Transportation was present to commission the Dale Inland successfully.
And as of today, a train can go into Dala Inland Dry Port.
And there is a rail line that directly connects Kano with Lagos, where from there, when you pick your container, it will come directly to Kano and it will be processed. We have the customs, we have all the agencies.
I believe that this port will restore the eminent status of Kano as an industrial and commercial nerve center for trade and investment and industrialization, not just in Nigeria, but across sub-Saharan Africa. This is what used to be the case many, perhaps 2-3 centuries ago, when trade between the Northern African country and indeed across North Africa to Europe was indeed anchored in Kano. To that extent, the Dala Dry Port will make it now possible to combine the new trade from the south, from Lagos, through the railway, and the old trade which will go up north through Niger and Sudan and up to Morocco.
Kano has the largest number of small-scale industries. When you talk about recycling, when you talk about plastic, when you talk about everything you think. So companies, main investors can come in. We can organize our small-scale industries into groups and they can be the ones to feed the bigger companies. One stands the advantage of getting cheap and easy, immediate raw materials that are being sourced directly.
They are giving farmers support, and they are also encouraging all the unions that are gathering to form this farmers refund, this wheat association, rice farmers association, and maize farmers association. They are collectively talking to government, and the government is supporting them, finding them resources that they will farm their crops and they invest to and they sell to the market. So if an investor is seeing that he doesn't have enough raw material to use, so the time now is over. Anything you want to produce, there is enough raw material, that is crops. Even we are willing to export now to outside Nigeria.
Kano has the largest number of rice mills in the country. Why? Because the advantage that we have in terms of agriculture. 70% of our population are farmers in the rural areas.
In the past, let's say 3 years now, we only have minimum of maybe 5 rice mills in Kano. But due to the very good conducive atmosphere that is very interactive, now we have more than 50 rice mills in Kano, ranging from 15 tons per hour, 16 tons per hour, up to even 30 tons per hour. That is, we are talking of rice mill that is up to 1,000 tons per day. So now it's time for any investor to come to Kano to invest.
Anybody who wants to invest in agri, especially mechanized agriculture, is welcome to Kano. Anybody who wants to create an industry that has to do with food, in the whole West Africa, the largest grain market is in Kano, and we call it the Wano market. And you find expatriates from India, from China, and even from Europe doing business, exporting grains from the country.
We have the best soybeans, we have the best ginger, we have the best onions, and a lot more. Anybody that will come and invest to make a processing plant here stand at advantage. Number one, to source the genuine produce of whatever he intends to process at a cheaper rate and can make more profit out of it.
So we do all that to investors just to make sure that he feels at home, and we make sure that we safeguard his investment.
They have made the availability of land and the acquisition of land much, much easier here in Kano. So this will encourage the investor definitely to move forward. This is very fundamental.
I apply for the state government that I want to expand my factory. State governor approve and give me the space that I am trying to create an expansion for 300 ton now. At that 300 ton, hopefully I will employ at least 300 people.
Kano State is ready to give tax reliefs, vacations, tax vacations, to intending investors into Kano. So Kano is ready for investment.
It happens to us. That is, I'm talking of a group of companies. They are ready to give you 5 years tax-free if you are willing to invest.
All our markets are old markets. They have been in existence for decades, especially Quarry Market, hundreds of years, Sabangari, many years, Kantunkwari, and the city is congested with a lot of visitors, a lot of business activities going on and industrial activities. Now he decided to create an economic city, which we call Kanawa. Now that Kanawa is a modern market, an economic city with international trade center, with modern shops and facilities targeted at making it easy for traders, for anybody coming into Kano for such business or business activities, including hotels, motels, mosques, parking lots for trailers, for small vehicles, and whatever you can think of that a businessman requires for him to do his business transaction is being provided in the market. And the market is under construction with a private partner, and we are doing very well. Now, phase 1 has been completed, which has to do with pharmaceuticals, and it has been assessed by Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria as the best in the country and among the best in West Africa.
Kano State is always open for more investors in all sectors of our economy. We invite willing investors with expertise to come and invest in the various lucrative spaces we have in our dear state. Our KANINVEST agency is ready as well as able to facilitate and support investors by providing them with the enabling environment to ensure they succeed in their investment. The state government is also prepared to partner and support willing investors with land as equity to establish viable public-private partnership projects in areas of technology, renewable energy, manufacturing, both light and heavy industry, as well as the agricultural value chain, among others. So kindly accept this as a formal invitation to all investors to come and invest in our dear state, Kano. We urge you to explore the prospects and potential we have as we look forward to hosting you in our dear state and ensure you a positive experience in terms of business opportunity in the state.
Kano is one of the best cities to come and invest now.
Come to Kano. Even if you don't know anybody.
Think investment, think Kano.
Think investment, think Kano.
Think investment, think of Kano.
Think investment, think Kano.
Think investment, think Kano.
Think of investment, think Kano.
Think investment, think Kano State.
Think investment, think
Kano.
I love Kano.